Forbes ranked Rihanna as the wealthiest female musician in the world. She's worth more than Taylor Swift, Beyoncé, and Madonna. But here's the shocking part. She hasn't released an album since 2016. So if music isn't making her billions, what is? Today, we're breaking down how Rihanna built a business empire that changed the rules of celebrity entrepreneurship forever. Before we dive into the billions, let's set the stage. Rihanna's music career was massively successful. Over 250 million records sold worldwide, 9 Grammy Awards, and hit after hit. But even at the peak of her music career, she was already thinking like a businesswoman. Those early endorsement deals with brands like Puma, Dior, and CoverGirl weren't just paychecks. They were her business education, teaching her how major brands operate, how products are marketed, and where the gaps in the market existed. In September 2017, everything changed. Rihanna launched Fenty Beauty, and it wasn't just another celebrity makeup line. She identified a problem that the entire beauty industry had ignored. Women with darker skin tones couldn't find foundation that matched them. Rihanna launched with 40 foundation shades. The impact was immediate and massive. Fenty Beauty made $100 million in its first 40 days. By the end of 2018, Fenty Beauty had generated $570 million in revenue. That's more than most beauty brands make in a decade. But here's why this made her a billionaire. Ownership. Rihanna owns approximately 50% of Fenty Beauty, with LVMH's Kendo division owning the other half. Most celebrities license their name for 5 to 10% royalties. Rihanna owns half the company. This partnership was genius-level strategic thinking. LVMH is the world's largest luxury goods conglomerate, the company behind Louis Vuitton, Dior, and dozens of other luxury brands. They have distribution networks and retail relationships that take decades to build. When Rihanna partnered with them, she got access to all of that infrastructure. She didn't have to build from scratch. LVMH opened every door, and in return, they got to work with someone who understood modern consumers better than anyone in their executive offices. This made Rihanna the first Black woman to create an original brand with LVMH. That's historic. Fenty Beauty didn't just succeed, it changed the entire industry. Within months, major brands scrambled to expand their shade ranges. MAC, Maybelline, L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, all of them suddenly discovered that darker skin tones existed. The industry even coined a term for it, the Fenty effect. This proved something crucial about Rihanna's business approach. She doesn't create products for everyone. She creates products for the people being ignored. That's not just good ethics, it's brilliant business strategy. Underserved markets are hungry for products made for them, and they're incredibly loyal when a brand finally sees them. By 2020, Fenty Beauty was valued at approximately $2.8 billion. With her 50% stake, that alone made Rihanna worth over $1 billion. But she was just getting started. In May 2018, just 8 months after Fenty Beauty launched, Rihanna announced Savage X Fenty, her lingerie line. And once again, she identified a massive gap in the market. The lingerie industry was dominated by Victoria's Secret, which sold a very specific fantasy: tall, thin, predominantly white models with angel wings. Meanwhile, regular women were told that's what sexy was supposed to look like. Rihanna saw an opportunity. Savage X Fenty launched with sizes ranging from extra small to 3 extra large, featured models of all body types, all ethnicities, all genders. The fashion shows became cultural events celebrating diversity and body positivity. But the real genius was the business model. Savage X Fenty operates with a VIP membership program. For about $50 a month, members get exclusive discounts and new releases. This subscription model creates predictable, recurring revenue. It's a tech company strategy applied to lingerie. The growth was explosive. By February 2021, just 3 years after launch, Savage X Fenty raised $115 million in funding at a valuation of $1 billion. Rihanna owned approximately 30% of the company, adding another $300 million to her net worth. Think about the timing. While Victoria's Secret was hemorrhaging customers and closing stores, Savage X Fenty was raising money at a billion-dollar valuation. Rihanna didn't just compete with Victoria's Secret, she made their entire business model look outdated. By 2023, there were reports that Savage X Fenty was exploring an IPO at a potential valuation of $3 billion or more. In July 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, Rihanna launched her third brand, Fenty Skin. This was a skincare line focused on simplicity, clean, effective products that work for all skin types and all genders. The timing was strategic. During lockdowns, people were spending more time on skincare routines. Fenty Skin launched with just a few products, keeping it simple and accessible. While Fenty Skin hasn't reached the same scale as Fenty Beauty or Savage X Fenty, it solidified something important. Rihanna had a repeatable formula. Find an underserved market, create inclusive products, leverage her brand authenticity. 3 different industries, same strategy, consistent success. Now, not everything Rihanna touched turned to gold. In 2019, she launched Fenty Maison, a luxury fashion house under LVMH. This made her the first woman of color to lead an LVMH fashion house. But in February 2021, less than 2 years after launch, Fenty Maison closed. The luxury ready-to-wear clothing line never found its audience. Here's the thing, Rihanna didn't hide from this failure. She shut down the fashion line, but kept Fenty Beauty and Savage X Fenty growing strong. That's what smart entrepreneurs do. They know when to cut losses and double down on what works. In August 2021, Forbes officially declared Rihanna a billionaire, with an estimated net worth of $1.7 billion. The breakdown was stunning. Approximately $1.4 billion from Fenty Beauty, about $270 million from Savage X Fenty, and the remainder from her music catalog. This means roughly 85% of her wealth came from her businesses, not her music. She became the wealthiest female musician in the world by essentially retiring from music. And she did it in less than 5 years from launching her first business. So, what can we learn from Rihanna's business empire? There are 3 critical strategies that separate her from every other celebrity entrepreneur. First, ownership over licensing. Most celebrities slap their name on a product for 5 to 10% royalties. Rihanna negotiated significant equity stakes, 50% of Fenty Beauty, 30% of Savage X Fenty. That difference is literally $1 billion. She understood that long-term ownership builds generational wealth. Second, she identified underserved markets, not oversaturated ones. She looked at who was being ignored, women with darker skin tones, plus-size consumers, and she built businesses specifically for them. These customers were loyal because finally, someone was making products for them. Third, strategic partnerships with established players. By partnering with LVMH, she got instant access to manufacturing, distribution, and retail relationships that take decades to develop. That's how you scale fast. In February 2023, Rihanna performed at the Super Bowl halftime show, her first major performance in years. During the show, she literally paused to reapply her Fenty Beauty makeup. That moment was marketing genius. Over 118 million people watched that halftime show. The next day, Fenty Beauty sales spiked dramatically. She wasn't just performing, she was advertising. Every time Rihanna appears in public, she's wearing Savage X Fenty or Fenty Beauty. She doesn't need traditional advertising because she is the advertisement. That's personal brand leverage at its absolute peak. Rihanna fundamentally changed what it means to be a celebrity entrepreneur. Before Fenty Beauty, inclusivity was treated as a niche market. After Fenty Beauty, it became a business imperative. She proved that inclusive products aren't just morally right, they're massively profitable. She also changed the celebrity business playbook. Now, when artists launch brands, they're asking for equity, not just endorsement deals. Selena Gomez with Rare Beauty, Pharrell with skincare, Kylie Jenner rebuilding her business. They're all following the path Rihanna carved. She showed an entire generation that you don't have to choose between being an artist and being a business person. You can be both. And sometimes, the business makes you richer than the art ever could. Rihanna is currently worth an estimated $1.4 to $1.7 billion, making her the wealthiest female musician on the planet. But that title almost undersells what she's accomplished. She's not just a musician with businesses on the side. She's a business mogul who revolutionized multiple industries. From 40 foundation shades to a billion-dollar empire, Rihanna proved that when you serve the underserved, build with authenticity, and own what you create, you don't just make money, you change the game entirely.